Welcome to the Lo Uno podcast, Australia's leading legal podcast. We've got Shelley Burger, Global CEO of LawY's, joining us today. Welcome, Shelley.
Thank you, Jesse.
It's a pleasure having you on the show. Today's podcast is all about learning more about LawY's, the incredible work that you guys are doing, our partnership with Lo Uno and LawY's in terms of our awards, but also many events that we've got coming up. So we're just going to go into a quick introduction, Shelley, if you don't mind, a bit more about yourself and a little bit more about LawY's.
About me. I'll give you the quick version. So by background, I'm an M&A lawyer who came up through the ranks of Gilbert and Tobin back in the day when AI was not a product we had available off the shelf, unfortunately. And after about 12 years at G&T, I pivoted to in-house. And after a few years of in-house, I ended up in a large legal tech group and then moved into the product the first opportunity I got.
Oh, wow. Brilliant. And so you did the M&A in-house, you did private practice, and now obviously building an incredible tool is it for both or is it for private practice?
It's for lawyers, in-house teams, and other legal professionals and people who work adjacent to the legal profession, because law touches so many aspects of many professions that the technology we've built is supposed to be flexible. So yes, it's aimed at lawyers, but we're also finding it's helping a lot of people who kind of sit or work adjacent to lawyers as well, because they need to understand the law.
Yeah, brilliant. Perfect. So tell me a bit more about LawY's, because obviously we've heard a lot about it. A lot of listeners have heard about it as well, but it would be great coming from yourself. Like, where is it today? What's the roadmap looking like coming up in the future?
Sure. So LawY's started in 2023. AI was not the AI of today. It was certainly better than previously prior to 2023, but it was, back then it didn't actually know what date it was. You couldn't ask, is the legislation up to date? Because it didn't know what the date was. It was kind of when the LLM models... The last time it was updated, it just thought that was the date. So, it started in 2023, which sounds relatively recent, but back then we started off just with legal research and offering that through bigger legal practice management platforms. And so we worked on the legal research part and incorporated both legal answer Q&A plus human verification, and we paired those, and we worked on that product for about 2.5 years. But the most amazing and exciting step so far has been when we launched as a fully fledged standalone flagship platform in January of this year, where it's legal research plus matter management, and now we've added a contracts redlining tool and agentic matter insights, and we're adding to the product every week. Well, in quick sprints, which in development land, you're talking every 8 weeks, we're focusing on new tools, new products, new ways to make it better for lawyers. And that whole time collecting feedback, listening to our market, listening to people who use it and people who are asking for demos. We love getting our hands dirty and understanding how to make it better and staying in touch with our audience. Yeah,
brilliant. I think, having spoken to you guys before, there is a point of difference compared to a lot of these legal tech softwares who are being built by non-lawyers, non-legal, yet building tools for legal. Tell us a bit how you guys are actually incorporating a lot of lawyers in part of this build.
Sure. And we have the amazing and unique benefit of being AI native. We're built since 2023, so we're fully AI native platform, not an old software bootstrapped with AI. But when we've been building this, half of my team, including some of my developers, are actually lawyers. My developers don't practice anymore, but some of my developers are lawyers, but then we have a large number of lawyers in my team in different practice areas, leading helping the developers understand what lawyers want in the product and helping us iterate really quickly over kind of bringing together what is technically available and what lawyers do, and a lot is technically available with AI these days, and so we're bringing that to market super fast so that once it hits the market, it's already usable and value straight out of the box, rather
Brilliant.
than the lawyers who get it and start LawY, they can self-sign on and start using straight away.
Wow.
They don't have to train this thing. They don't have to get it to understand how they work. We've done all that heavy lifting, and we've also done the privacy and confidentiality and security overlay for them. So you don't need a legal ops team. You don't need to be a big firm. You don't need to have an IT department who understands AI, safety and security. We do all that work for you, so that our lawyers can just do their day job and stick to that advocacy, executive thinking and strategic thinking and proper advice for clients. Not all the stuff that we do.
Yeah, look, I think that's definitely separating yourselves from 90% of the market, if not more. Most companies that I've worked with or come across in the AI legal tech space still leave a lot of heavy lifting for the lawyers themselves to do. So I think this is a game changer, especially small practices coming through to mid-size, where they don't have the capacity to have legal ops and all these other things. So I think that's brilliant to hear, because Australia is made up of a lot of small to mid-sized firms, majority. So I mean, that's great to hear. Tell us a bit about where we are at now in terms of, I know LawY is a global product. How is that going, the global expansion?
So the research product has been in, I'm going to say 6 common law countries since it came online in August 2023. And so we are in Australia, the UK, US, Canada, New Zealand and Ireland. And with our new contracts tool, that tool actually works in any area of law because it's decoupled from matter type and it's free reign in terms of the matter type and jurisdiction you can use as the baseline for that tool. So we are only common law at the moment, but given the nature of how far LLMs have come, it's only a matter of time until the tool adapts to other non-common areas of law and potentially other non-English speaking jurisdictions as well. Yeah,
brilliant. And touching on that last point, where you're at now, but what's the future looking for you guys in the next 2 to 3 years?
So the future is super exciting. It's expanding beyond just lawyers only, as I mentioned before, but also it is that small to medium sized market that we're trying to target, because often they are under-resourced in terms of tooling and appropriate tooling for them that fits their budget, because a lot of the higher end subscriptions, a small firm may only be able to afford one or none, definitely not like 6, so we are bringing all of the power of large language models and AI to them in a package they can use straight away. So we are really trying to make sure that you can be competitive and have an efficiency edge, so you can so law firms can compete with kind of the mid-tier firms and the higher tier firms. So you're not going to lose out on work because you don't have kind of the tooling, which we've seen historically has happened, and that's often we want to remove the barrier that stops law firms from progressing to where they want to be.
Wow, look, I think that resonates a lot with especially what we're doing at Law Uno, trying to break down barriers that exist as well for practitioners coming through the ranks who don't have a network. But similar small, medium-sized firms, I think this is going to be music to their ears, right? Because that's what we hear on the ground, speaking to small businesses and small principals who maybe 5 to 10 people in their firm, is they don't have the financial budgets for these big AI models. And we've had AI events. We've actually got one this evening, funny enough, with the transformation lead in AI of G&T, where you've just come from, Ash, who's coming in tonight. But the biggest thing that the audience coming in tonight are small firms finding ways to use AI to scale, because they're all trying to compete to get to where they want to be. But there's no tools out there that are giving them that affordability. Well, a lot of them say that to us anyway. So this is quite interesting for them, and listening to this as well, I think.
Yes, the intentionally designed low-touch implementation means, and no lock-in contracts.
Oh, wow.
You can try it. We are so confident in the product. If you start using it, you will see those efficiency gains, because the efficiency is in part getting it onto your system and getting all of your information into our LawY platform. But we meet you where you're at in terms of where your firm is at in their technological journey. And because we've chosen to allow LawY to connect to third-party storage platforms like Dropbox and SharePoint and Google Drive, law firms often operate on SharePoint because it comes with Microsoft Word. So we meet them where they're at in terms of being there. And then also we have a very solid implementation and customer success team who work with all of our users to make sure that we can meet them where they're at in terms of how much they understand about AI or connecting their drive or sharing their files to get the most out of LawY. And so that's all complementary and part of the package because all firms are at a very different part of their journey.
Yeah, 100%.
And the scariest bit is the people who are still not even investigating AI because it's just all in the too hard
100%,
basket.
yeah.
So, people who are coming to your event tonight and engaging kind of with this podcast and other aspects are the lucky ones who are already engaged and thinking about it. Part of our mission is to bring it to the people who are in kind of denial of it's just all too hard, but you can't stop it. It's infecting
100%.
all parts of the legal profession. Even if your firm isn't using it, you're probably getting AI. The old Dr. Google is now the old lawyer Google. So your clients can come in with a full
100%.
manifest of information that they've gotten from Google, and you need a way to combat that
100%.
quickly. And LawY offers you that. But you can come up against opposing counsel and they have some kind of tooling. They may be from a firm that is bigger than you and you aspire to get to that level. How are you going to do it without
100%.
tooling?
I think the firms that are standing still are going to lose out, definitely. Security is a big thing where data is being housed, and all of these topics come up a lot when we're talking to smaller firms especially, because they are scared of the risk that could come with it. Tell us a bit how LawY is ensuring that this is not going to be a risk for them and your layers of security.
Sure. So we've got different layers of security based on the ones that are appropriate for the parts of the product that are being used. So all your matter information, as I said, it's in your cloud storage drive. You always own it. We never, some practice management systems, once you upload it, you can't see it anymore. It's obfuscated from you. Really, all they're doing is putting it on Amazon Bedrock. But we mirror what's in your cloud storage, so you always retain control of it. And so you've already done your DD on probably your OneDrive or your SharePoint, as you may use. And so we use the security on that. But then when we ingest your matter information so that LawY can understand and read and inject it into your matter insights and your legal research as necessary, we store that again on Amazon Bedrock, and Amazon, its whole reputation is pegged on security. It's one of the most secure
100%.
data repositories in the entire world. And then for our LLMs, we have enterprise agreements with the big providers we use, which means we have zero data retention and monitored abuse monitoring. So none of the data that ever goes through LawY is used to train a model, and it is not kept by the LLM providers. And the enterprise agreement level of kind of protection for your data is not available in a B2C environment. So if you just go direct to these providers, you cannot get what we get as enterprise customer. We provide them, the big LLM providers, with the security that they need, that it's being used properly, so they don't then monitor conversations that go through LawY. So it's miles beyond what you could achieve as a solo firm, or what a one-man band of a legal ops manager could achieve.
Wow. Look, it's brilliant. I think a lot of legal tech companies, as I mentioned, are focusing on the larger law firms or the mid-tiers and sort of and above. It's refreshing to hear technology now helping out the firms that are growing and still at startup or boutique practices. I guess that's where our partnership kind of aligns really well. Law Uno is all about giving access to the law, to the legal community that doesn't exist at the moment. So tell us a bit these partnerships all come about from Fiona Kirkman, who was at a Women in Law event, and then we obviously met. What's LawY's obviously sponsored our first ever Australian Young Lawyer and Law Student Awards. What made LawY sort of want to be involved in that, and what are your sort of thoughts on that?
So LawY, I mean, we're relatively new ourselves and a small business, for want of a better word. So we have always been very focused on how we can make a real difference, which aligns with what small firms want to do. They want to make a real difference in real people's lives.
100%.
They're not serving big corporates. They don't have a bunch of budget to waste on non-legal facing teams. Like, they need to be focusing all their energy on clients, which is exactly what we do at LawY. And so the small to mid-tier market is where we can have the most impact, and it is the most firms, and if you look at that small to mid-tier market as employers of lawyers, that is where most lawyers
100%.
are employed, and where most people are going to have the ability to have work-life balance. And that's
100%.
exactly what we're trying to bring with LawY. Is we're trying to empower lawyers to be more effective and more efficient, but still reach those targets so their firm can succeed. So we're trying to strike the balance so that hopefully people coming up through the ranks in those firms can have a better kind of a more successful and sustainable career than, as I said, I came up in the era before AI, and it was fairly, there was a lot of drudgery and long hours you didn't always feel like you were actually achieving anything.
Wow. Yeah, I think solving that issue about work-life balance is another big issue, especially in law, and especially with boutique firms who are under-resourced. They can't afford hundreds of staff for different areas of individuals, like legal support one-to-one sometimes, and so on. I think AI is going to help them a lot scale. So a tool like this is obviously going to help them, and the partnership with the awards and the kind of individuals we're attracting to the awards, I think that's going to help a lot as well. We've got a series of events with you guys in Sydney, Melbourne, and Brisbane. What would you, because a lot of people are sort of seeing our promotions, going to listen to this podcast and so on, are skeptical to even take that step to even, like you said, learn about AI in general. What encouragement could you give them to come on this roadshow, meet us in Brisbane, meet us in Melbourne, meet us in Sydney, that they will see a point of difference? Because I've spoken to a lot of legal professionals who go to like Legal Week and all these, big legal tech sort of conferences in Sydney or Melbourne and such, and they leave with a feeling that it didn't really target them. It didn't feel personalized. It didn't feel like they were getting any value. Operators were more interested in the bigger fees and the bigger picture and the bigger items. What would you say from your perspective, coming to one of our events that we're partnering with? Why would they want to come? Because that's a big thing for them to even just attend.
Yep.
A small practice to get that time away from work for a principal. It's quite hard sometimes.
Of course.
Yeah.
So I would say, look, the AI is not the future of law. It is the now of law. And so if you have the opportunity to get something that's tailored to your kind of firm size, and that isn't just getting swept up in the hype. There's a lot of hype around big products because they have big marketing budgets. But, some of them have minimum 5 users and minimum spend of like
100%.
hundreds of thousands of US dollars.
100%.
Which and longer term commitments, which is just not something firms can get across. So if, as Law does, if you're selecting kind of a showcase of products, advisors, and industry experts that are tailored and targeted at that industry, that's where you're going to get the value, because it is impossible to sort the wheat from the chaff if you're just like kind of
100%.
relying on LinkedIn or the AI rundown newsletter.
100%.
Like, there's just the onslaught of AI information, especially as it relates to law, is completely unmanageable. So
100%.
these events, it's almost worthwhile turning off those newsletters for 2 weeks and investing in your time in going to roadshows that are tailored for you. And that's why we're a partner
100%.
with you at Law, because your market and our market
Yeah.
are the same market.
Yes, 100%. A bit about yourself now. I mean, it's great, hearing where you've come to and with LawY. A lot of lawyers don't know of these alternative careers.
Yes.
They think I've got to be in private practice or in-house.
Mm-hmm.
There's nowhere else for me to go. You guys are bringing that in-house experience in private practice to help with tech building.
Yes.
So what encouragement would you give to people considering this kind of move?
Career pivot.
Yeah, 100%.
It's definitely more available than it was when I did it, even in 2023. Like my boss's boss at the time was shocked that I said,
Oh, wow.
I will build that AI business. And he said, based on what experience? And I gently reminded him that I had a software engineering degree before I was a lawyer. Never used it.
Yeah.
Can't code anymore. Can code. Can still run a MySQL query, but that's it.
Yeah.
So in terms of if you are considering a pivot, there is a lot out there. Practice is always going to be there. So if a good opportunity comes up and you are discerning and you've done your research, and it's something you've been thinking about for longer than, don't do it because it's trendy. Do it because there's, a bit more behind it. But if there is that genuine need, and I'm seeing it, we are actively interviewing now. We have been for some time, and there is such a variety. I'm so impressed with the young lawyers coming through. I can't believe that they have achieved so much in their lives already. And they still, they don't seem burnt out.
Yeah.
They're opting for work-life balance, like not when life has already gotten too much for
100%.
them. Like myself, I'd had 2 children before I realized, it's a bit, becoming a partner and managing the house is
100%.
probably, out of the realms of something I want to do if I want to be present and do a good job of both of those things. So they are much more capable of understanding their own limits, which I think is amazing. But if you are thinking about it and the opportunity is good, my advice is do your research and take the leap. No law firm, if you want to go back into law, no law firm is going to say no to you going back if you're saying I did something that was exciting and it doesn't work out. Not everything succeeds.
100%.
My first in-house role, COVID hit and the bottom fell out of the industry it was in. So I had to tell my boss at the time, you're better off making me redundant because you can outsource legal services.
100%.
You don't need an in-house counsel. So, it was a tough decision at the time, but I picked myself up and, you do not know what's around the corner, but if you never take the leap, nothing will change.
100%. I agree. You've got to take the risk.
Yes.
You never know.
And if you're young,
why not?
If life is
why
way
not?
more flexible,
Exactly.
do it.
100%. And obviously a couple of quick fire questions, which just getting to know you a little better. Some funny, some to the point. Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Coffee.
Thank you, law school.
Early bird or night owl?
Early bird.
Oh, wow. Okay. Most lawyers always say night owl to me.
I've always been an early bird.
Oh, good.
I love seeing the sunrise.
Oh, brilliant. Opportunity or disruption when it comes to AI?
Clearly an opportunity.
Biggest leadership lesson in one sentence? That's a tough one, I know.
Oh, it's actually not.
Oh, God.
Well, I've had a crash course in it here at LawY. So I would say what I've learnt is hire people who you think one day could take your job.
Yeah.
Empower them, push them, and teach them everything you know. It's just the most rewarding way to have a team that works. Just works.
That's brilliant, because a lot of people I've spoken to as principals or as partners are very nervous in doing that. Principals of small law firms obviously are thinking that person will go and start a competitor. Partners obviously are very settled in their role and very want to hang on to that as long as they can.
Yes.
So it's really refreshing to hear that, obviously. One quality every young lawyer should develop?
Good judgment.
Good judgment.
That comes use of AI,
Yeah.
who to trust, which partner to attach yourself to,
100%.
all of it.
One word that describes the future of law.
Human.
Human. Wow. I like that one. Yeah. And favorite legal TV show, if there is one.
God, I cannot, I'm too traumatized. I cannot watch the US-based, like, private practice
Okay.
ones, but I did love the Crownies. But
Okay.
it's been a while. I think having a favorite TV show is not something
Yeah.
the two kids can do.
No, definitely not. I can't remember when I watched TV last. If you're sitting 5 years from now, what would you love to see change in the Australian legal profession?
I would love the non-billable drudgery to be no longer part of life, because it's not rewarding. It keeps people from developing the judgment and the experience and the strategic thinking and the ability to manage clients, because you're stuck in a room looking at documents. So I would love AI to replace all of that, and for young lawyers to be able to be spending more time watching their partners work and practice, honing that craft, because experienced practitioners, they are so impressive and they have so much to pass on, and we have a window for that to be passed on, and you can use AI to help
100%.
you do that. So it is a step change in how young lawyers develop that judgment, but it can definitely be done if kind of the partners guiding the firm and the transition come to it with thought.
Look, I hope we see change. Obviously, law is one of the slowest professions to adopt any change.
Yeah.
We're trying to do that with Law Uno and bring technology into building a community and all the things we do. Obviously, there's a lot of pushback, but there's a lot of acceptance from the younger lawyers. But the partners, obviously, are very skeptical. I met, Honorable Justice Kirby and spoke to him about it. He couldn't believe even LinkedIn exists. Forget about Law Uno. So yeah, look, I hope law changes. It's always a pleasure having you here. Do you mind if our listeners connect with you on LinkedIn and reach out to you?
Of course, please do.
And
LawY has LinkedIn. So
yeah,
we do. Justice Kirby, you can friend us on there.
And you are hiring?
We are.
And how would if a lawyer is interested in coming across, who's the best person or best way to go about it?
Those are on LinkedIn.
Oh, perfect.
So they look out for them.
Yep.
We are looking for lawyers in some niche areas right now. So super exciting for people who are maybe kind of not your standard corporate and commercial lawyer.
Yeah.
Looking for those opportunities, because it's often harder to find them for the niches.
100%.
So.
What niches in this? Just because
Wilson,
we get a lot of people here, then you never know.
Wills and Estates,
Yeah.
employment lawyers. Where are we looking? Litigation.
Yeah, perfect.
Litigation, we do find a few, because they're the kind of the ones who stand in court are often like, I'll come and do something different, because it's draining
100%,
being in court.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you've got one of the specialties kind of outside litigation and commercial law that small to medium-sized firms practice in, often small firms
100%.
do many things.
Yes.
Yeah.
Reach out. Yeah.
Reach out.
Brilliant. Perfect. Well, thanks so much for coming today.
Thank you, Jesse.
Brilliant.